From lettuce to chicken, food has become a lot pricier in the Asia Pacific these last few months, especially if you live in an expensive city. From Seoul to Singapore to Sydney, we find out why just a simple lunch can cost a lot more now.
Eating out has gotten more expensive in Seoul. Korea's consumer price index jumped 6% in June, the highest in nearly 24 years. Even worse, the cost of dining out. There are multiple reasons. The country imports most of its grains and energy. Vegetable prices were affected by the recent drought and monsoon. So people are calling this lunchflation. It's hard to find a restaurant keeping up with the same price. Here, you can see a price of bibimbap and other Korean dishes have changed by around $1. This is why people are turning to convenience stores. Foods here are mass-produced and pre-made, which makes it a lot cheaper. One of the popular choices is doshira, a neat pack of lunch with rice, kimchi, and a variety of small dishes. It usually costs around $2 to $4. Many people believe it to be the healthiest choice they can make in a convenience store.
So here in Singapore, we take the issue of food inflation pretty seriously. We're a very small country with very little farmland, so 90% of our food actually comes from other countries. And that means every time the price of food goes up around the world, whether it's because of the Ukraine crisis, or COVID, or fuel and labor shortages, we feel the effects pretty acutely. So a lot of us like to eat in places like this, a coffee shop or a hawker center, and that's because the food is pretty cheap here. But even then, prices are starting to rise. So this is a stall selling chicken rice. It's a pretty popular lunch dish in Singapore, and it usually costs about 3 to 4 Singapore dollars. But these days, it can cost maybe 25 to 50% more. And that's because our neighbor, Malaysia, recently decided to stop exporting chickens overseas. And that's a problem for Singapore because a third of our chickens come from Malaysia.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Down here in Australia, we've been hit by horrendous weather this year. Major floods on the east coast have damaged fruit and vegetable crops, reducing supply and driving up prices. In the past 12 months, fruit and veg has gone up almost 7%, with huge increases to fertiliser and diesel costs and COVID-related supply disruptions all contributing to the price hikes. That means a salad sandwich, a popular lunch choice for Australians, is becoming more expensive. It consists of cucumber, tomato, beetroot, carrot, red onion and lettuce, layered between buttered bread. But ham and cheese are popular additions. All the elements of a salad sandwich have seen price increases, but lettuce in particular is going through the roof.
We were paying $10 a box for lettuce. We're now paying $55 a box for lettuce. And, you know, we're a sandwich shop. Our sandwiches, every single sandwich has lettuce on it.
So how are people coping with inflation? We had a chat about this over lunch.
There's a challenge called digging through a refrigerator, which is trending now in Korea. It's basically people trying to share tips on how to cook decent meals out of their leftovers in the fridge in order to save some money on groceries.
So that's really interesting because in Singapore, people are starting to eat rescued food. So that's food that's past its expiry date or is a bit damaged, but still quite edible. And it's rescued from supermarkets and shops. And that's, was pretty unimaginable a few years ago because, most people would have thought, like, I'm not going to eat expired food, but, times have changed.
In Australia, people are cutting back by cooking more at home and shopping around different supermarkets so they can try and get the best deals. But they're also exploring substitutions for what's really expensive at the moment. But that last one isn't just for home cooks. KFC Australia actually made headlines when they decided to substitute cabbage for lettuce in their burgers and wraps. Anyway, I'm pretty hungry now, so how about we just eat?
Yeah, sure.